I've already spoken about my thoughts on the Neo Geo's beat-em-ups, but I guess I should mention them again if this is the first of the Arcade Archive releases you happen to be watching. I've never been a big fan of the beat-em-ups on the Neo Geo, and I don't really know why that is. They just never really sat well with me for whatever reason. Today's Retro Wednesdays game is 1991's Robo Army, another beat-em-up that I don't really have that much nostalgia for. When I booted the game up for the very first time, I figured it would be similar in design to all the other Neo Geo beat-em-ups that I've played so far, and to be perfectly honest, it more or less was. There are 2 playable characters, and you only have access to a handful of very basic attacks. These include being able to punch, jump kick, and to use some special attacks. Special attacks are tied to specific gems which slowly fill a gauge. At the maximum amount, which I believe is 6, you can access the most powerful attack, and then slowly but surely it will decrease your attack power as you continue to use the C button. Thankfully, enemies drop power-up orbs, health, and a unique power-up that transforms you into a car, which allows you to run over all kinds of different enemies for a brief period of time. I enjoyed my time with this one, believe it or not. Simplistic, yeah, for sure, but overall, it's quite fun. I like the sub-bosses and the end-level bosses, and how each one had an appealing design to them. There's also a lot of different enemy types that come after you during the course of the game, over your typical color palette swaps that you're used to. Now that's not to say that that doesn't happen here, because it most certainly does. It's just that overall there are quite a few different enemy designs in the game, from your typical robot enemies to robotic dogs and birds and more. So I was quite impressed with that. As is rather standard with most beat-em-ups, there's not really much to say about the game. You play through each level trying to make your way to an end boss, and between levels you're treated to some hilariously bad dialogue, and then that's pretty much it, you're off to the next area. The graphics look quite nice considering the year of the game's release, and the environments, while not overly original, are certainly detailed. The sprites are large, they're detailed as well, and they all animate well. Unlike some of the other beat-em-ups I've already reviewed, I didn't find the playable characters to be overly heavy here. That said, I didn't find the jump kick move all that useful, and spent the vast majority of the time punching people straight in the face. As with all of the ACA releases, you can pick this one up for around $10 or so, and it's certainly worth checking out if you have a friend who's willing to play with you. These games are always so much more fun to play with a friend. Next week we'll be checking out another beat-em-up, Mutation Nation, although I'll tell you right now, I didn't really enjoy that one as much as this one, so take that for whatever it's worth.
Robo